sure to check out brucemontalvo.bandcamp.com. brucemontalvo.bandcamp.com for my latest book, The Language of Symbols, and all sorts of merchandise from t-shirts, the Trump World Order t-shirt, the Hillary Not My President t-shirt, or the Jail Soros t-shirt, all available at the Bruce Montalvo store, the official Bruce Montalvo store, at brucemontalvo.bandcamp.com.
TalkStream Live introduces our first ever iPhone application, Mobile Talk Radio. Imagine having the freedom to take live talk radio with you anywhere you go. You'll be surprised how easy it is to use.
So I think what's going on here is that Obama is banking on unemployment falling.
Listen to live talk shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. TalkStream Live. Now available in the iTunes App Store.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. President Donald Trump is asserting that China was working with the United States on the North Korea problem. The president's tweet comes as Vice President Mike Pence told American and South Korea military that the North's failed missile launch laid bare the risk they face. Meanwhile, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster tells ABC that it's time for us to undertake all actions we can, short of a military option, to try to resolve this peacefully. Billions of Christians around the world are celebrating Easter, some amidst increased security due to threats by Muslim terrorists. Believers in Egypt are marking Easter a low-key affair in memory of more than 40 people killed by terrorist bombings at two churches on Palm Sunday. Haven't filed your taxes yet? Relax, you've got a little more time.
Since the normal tax day of April 15th fell on a Saturday this year, and Monday's Emancipation Day, a legal holiday in the nation's capital, the deadline to file taxes has been extended 2 days to midnight Tuesday, April 18th. Of course, if you need more time, you can file an automatic extension, but it's still the same deadline.
That is correspondent Ron DeRockstra. Also at SRNnews.com, the Army wants you.
Our military is looking for new ways to bring in more civilians with high-tech skills who can help fight Islamic State militants. Officials are also looking for computer experts to help the military prepare for the new range of high-tech threats that our country will face. That means finding National Guard and Reserve members with technical expertise in digital forensics and writing computer code.
That is correspondent Andrew Stewart. The leader of Turkey's main nationalist party has declared victory for the referendum to expand the powers of the country's presidency. Nationalist Action Party head Devlet Bahçeli said in a statement that Turkish voters chose of their free will to move the country from a parliamentary to a presidential system of government. This is SRN News. The Freedom from Religion Foundation is going after the Gideons.
The prominent atheist group has a problem with a recent distribution of Bibles by the Gideons International at Charles Bogger Elementary School in Kannapolis, North Carolina. The foundation has sent a letter to school officials claiming that handing out copies of the scriptures at a public school is a violation of the Constitution. Supporters of the Gideons point out they do their giveaways outside the school building, usually on sidewalks. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
Sikhs in the United States are launching $1 million awareness campaign that aims to stop hate-fueled attacks by explaining more about who they are and what they believe. The We Are Sikhs campaign is funded by Sikh leaders and their families across a dozen cities who have been swept up in anti-Muslim sentiment since the 9/11 attacks. Their beards and turbans, symbols of equality in a religion that opposes India's caste system, make America's Sikhs easy targets for the angry and uninformed. This is SRN News. Baseball Hall of Famer Rod Carew has received a new heart and kidney from the late NFL player Conrad Ruland in what's believed to be the first such transplant involving pro athletes.
Carew underwent the procedure last December, and he met Ruland's family in March after mutual friends connected Ruland's death with news of Carew's transplant on December 16th. Ruland had died 4 days earlier after a ruptured brain aneurysm at age 29. The whole thing is just unbelievable, Carew told American Heart Association News. I've been given a second chance, so I'm going to take advantage of it, and I've got another family. Ruland played for the New York Jets and Baltimore Ravens. Keith Peters reporting.
A horse that got loose and blocked traffic at a Philadelphia intersection Friday was corralled by police using carrots. Police believe that the horse got loose from the city's Fairmount Park stables. The big animal was seen galloping through the streets of the city's Fishtown neighborhood. More details at srnnews.com.
Video of the week.
Oh yeah, if you want to support Bruce Montalvo and all the Montalvo Maniacs, yeah, be sure to go to paypal.com, yeah, and type in the Bruce Montalvo Show at gmail.com, yeah. And you can give Montalvo a $5 donation, $25 donation, even 25 cents, yeah, helps in the fight against the New World Order. Support the Bruce Montalvo Show. Go to paypal.com, the Bruce Montalvo Show at gmail.com, and help out the Montalvo Maniacs, yeah.
Go to Antique Obsessions for the hottest in jewelry, antiques, repurposed, solid sterling silver, one-of-a-kind, handmade by Bruce and Jaja. Go to our Facebook, which is Antique Obsessions, or you can go to Etsy.com and go to Antique Obsessions, one word, or type it into your Google and find us there. Thanks.
Tribal, primitive, rustic, Burning Man, punk rock, conceptual subculture for the edgiest, most cutting-edge designs of jewelry today. Go to Etsy.com/shop/conceptual subculture, or one word, either by going to Google or search Etsy, ETSY.com, and type in one word, conceptual subculture. You will find the hottest designs using natural stones with wire wrap rings, rough, raw, genuine, semi-precious gemstone jewelry, solid sterling silver, copper, leather, orgonite, bracelets, pendants, chokers, men's copper cups with sterling accents, eco-friendly, repurposed, original, one-of-a-kind design earrings. Support MBN by going to Conceptual Subculture on Etsy. Be sure to use our 40% off coupon, BRUCE40, at checkout to receive this fabulous offer.
Warning, warning, everything I say is fucking crazy and should not be reinterpreted or reenacted, because you will be either shot or NDAA'd. Warning.
I think I remember some guy outside a Brooklyn bagel shop telling me once that you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time.
So depressed. I don't know what to do. Hey, go for it, man. It's easy for you to say you got the promotion. Look, it'll come, all right? Just don't worry about it.
The feeling is definitely there. It's a new morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism is gone. We have faith in our leaders. We don't need pessimism. There are no limits.
About to incite a riot. Make some noise, break up the silence. Scream and shout, no being quiet. Spread the facts until you buy it. Come to my den, I got toys for torture. We drink the blood fresh just to stay immortals. We bring a thug fest, calling all New Yorkers, and keep a bayonet for the future slaughters. Take your bets, the players make them offers. Heads or tails, your life is on a quarter. All the king's men tally up their horses, forging ahead with a secret missile launching. Off to Georgia and start to cross the borders. In my bedroom, I'm making all the orders. If you come, you won't make it till morning. Get the picture, maybe kinda sort of. Ski mask, check. check. Books, check. Placebo, check. You're gonna get it, turn in your weapons. I'm under pressure, don't you forget it. You're gonna get it, turn in your weapons. I'm under pressure, don't you forget it. I got the right moves, I know what you do. You know I love you, but I'll still sue you. Don't take your questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to a show that tries to stop the New World Order from flattening an already flat Earth with nukes. You're listening to a special Monday night Montalvo edition of the Bruce Montalvo Show. That's right. You're listening. We're live. All the way live. It is April 17th, 2017. And as I said, if you're keeping up with me on Twitter and Facebook, I said, Trump is friends with Swamp Thing. So what did you expect? I mean, he hired all of Swamp Thing's friends. All right? You want to talk about, draining the swamp? Trump's entire administration is filled with Swamp Thing's homies. They're all over the place. You thought you were going to get rid of the corruption? Really? I mean, God himself couldn't get rid of the corruption. As a matter of fact, I'm hearing word that Trump is now considering Swamp Thing as his national security advisor because, he had a good one in Bannon from Breitbart, but, he fucked that up. A lot of things going on this Monday night raw edition of the Bruce Montalvo Show. Now, one thing I didn't get into was that airplane attack, that beat down on the airplane. It was just like Airplane. I mean, if you ever saw the movie Airplane, I mean, they were slapping this guy Dow silly. You want proof, folks, that we live in a police state? There you have it. I mean, they're beating that little Asian man senselessly. I mean, it sounded like this. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to make a commercial for Southwest Airlines. It's going to sound a little bit something like this. Southwest Airlines. We beat the competition, not you. That's what I see in the horizons. I mean, I'm not saying it's Trump's fault that guy got his ass whooped by a couple of fucking security guards. I think it's fake news. I think it's fishy. Because, I mean, look at his name, David Dow. And then the next day, I mean, what is it, United's stock on the Dow went all the way down. Get it? So to me, it was like some big conspiracy, a big coup d'etat between all the freaking airline companies. They probably teamed up like the Illuminati, and like Mount Rushmore. They have some secret meeting and figured out how they can take down United. So they said David Dow. But you know what I think is sick is, I mean, corporate America, just how sick they are to keep, their blood money. I mean, they went as far as slandering this guy. I mean, they dug up all sorts of dirt saying that he was slanging pills for like gay sex. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, he was a paying freaking passenger on an airline. Nobody should be beaten like that. I mean, they beat his ass like he was in freaking WCW. It was unbelievable why they slammed him into like the seat, busted his nose. But here's where it really gets like into like Hoaxville. Here's where it turns into absolute malarkey. I mean, they offered to pay this guy. And some staff had to get on the flight, so they were overbooked. They had to get him off. But they offered to pay David Dow like $800 when it came down to it, and a hotel night, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just for the inconveniences, the token of the airline's hospitality. I mean, $800. I mean, anybody would have taken that. Well, this guy didn't. And then on the phone, he's talking about, oh, I'm going to sue you. I'm not getting off plane. So they had to give him the freaking Kevin Nash treatment and like put a boot up his ass. Now, I am not happy with that, folks. Okay, because everybody lives like in Fahrenheit 451, like 1984 with their phones. They'll watch you get your ass beat because they're afraid to speak up against any authority. And I mean, what authority are these guys? A couple of rent-a-cops. So David Dahl got his ass whipped by a couple of rent-a-cops, and I think the whole thing's a hoax. He's planned out. The whole thing's planned out. It's just fake news. Everything to distract you from what's really going on. Okay, I was talking about Swamp Thing earlier. Okay, and that monster. And why do we get into that? Okay, like I said, who said it? There's not just some Jew at a Brooklyn bagel shop said what I said to start off the show. Okay, if you know, it was an Abraham Lincoln quote. It says, you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. And that's what happened with Trump. Okay, he's friends with Swamp Thing. So if you think he sold out, I mean, he didn't sell out. He didn't sell out at all. He didn't have to. Okay? He was buddies with Goldman Sachs. You see, it's a Goldman Sachs administration. I mean, just take a look at your money, at the dollar. It says annuit coeptis. Pretty sure in Latin that translates to our enterprise is a success. Our business is a success. So who do you want running the country if it's a business? A corporation. Trump himself is a corporation. So, I mean, he hoodwinked all of the patriots, the libertarians. He went in there, he used COINTELPRO and all sorts of other, all sorts of other fake news outlets. I mean, they're falling like Humpty Dumpty right now, left and right. I mean, he's turning their back on them. I mean, he's literally been sabotaged. The Trump administration has been sabotaged by the deep state. And maybe there was a slight chance that he was going to do something, something of promise. But it just seems that, we didn't get Bush, we didn't get Clinton, but we got something else, but the same. War, perpetual war, nonstop war all the time. And meanwhile, he's just bragging about his most beautiful piece of chocolate cake. Chocolate cake, folks. That's what he's having while he's talking business with Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping, who, I mean, Trump is definitely one of the biggest flip-floppers. I mean, this is like, he's worse than any NBA player I saw flip-flop. I mean, first he said that China was raping us. He was raping the United States in the Fangili, okay? Basically, up the wazoo. China was just rape in the U.S. Now, he's sitting there having a piece of fucking chocolate cake with the guy. Unbelievable. Called them currency manipulators. Now he's like, why am I going to do that? Why am I going to call him a currency manipulator? That's in the news. Trump flip-flopping. Like I said, you can't fool us all the time. Trump is the Swamp Thing. He is the Swamp Thing. He's giving the goddamn alligators shovels so they can work in the swamp. They're having power lunches. Talking about it. Oh, hey, what ideas you got to drain the swamp? He's asking the crocs, the goblins, the demons in the swamp how to handle the swamp. I mean, it's apparent. I mean, calling Bashar al-Assad an evil guy. This is a guy that was protecting Christians, protecting Jews. He had ISIS on the ropes. As soon as ISIS was about to get hit with the death blow, here comes Trump and the globalist cabal to save the day. So, I mean, I warned that he was a demagogue. I warned that he was a democon. And that week where, I was obviously pro-Trump, I mean, it lasted longer than a week. But look, folks, my eyes have always been open. Okay? Probably more open than the average person. I'll tell you why. Because all this war, it's happening right now during Easter, right? Oh, yeah, you're going out. And that's another thing. They're mad at Trump because he didn't do the whole Easter egg thing like Bush or Obama. I mean, give me a break. The guy's handling North Korea and China, I mean, Syria, so much other shit. You expect them to be on the White House lawn handling eggs. But here's what I'm about to get into. I mean, all this war, I mean, it's just leading up to major blood sacrifice. War is a blood sacrifice to the elite. They do it during occult holidays. They throw out the Pope out there, the Jesuit Pope. If you saw what he was wearing during the Easter celebrations, he had like a talus with like a bunch of snakes on it. It was unbelievable, but you have to know what you're celebrating. You have the kids out there picking up eggs. Well, back in Assyrian, Babylonian, pagan times, it was Ishtar. This was a fertility goddess, a demoness. It's a fertility ritual. You just think about it, a bunch of eggs out there. It goes back to Rome as well. The rabbit was a symbol of the fertility. And Ishtar, Easter, literally an Assyrian demon. And the Catholics and the Mexicans know her as the Black Madonna, the Guadalupe. In Assyria, that's exactly who she is, Ishtar. So that is what they're doing, is paying homage to a evil, pagan, Babylonian, Assyrian deity, a demon. So you're offering your kids having to go out there and hunt for the eggs, right? I mean, it's just socialist also when you think about it. I mean, that fucking Easter bunny, he's stealing the eggs from the chicken and then making a profit, hanging out with Bush and freaking Obama. I mean, probably part of the whole pedophile rings. The Easter bunny is like gathering up kids, right? That's what it looks like. It's a Easter bunny conspiracy. I'm telling you, folks, it's crazy. You got Trump helping the crocs and the deep state. But this is a horror movie we're living in. 2017 is a goddamn fucking monster movie. Okay? You got Pence out there in South Korea in the demilitarized zone. And many don't know, but his father was involved in the Korean War. That's why he's out there. And, I mean, to me, this guy, he wants to be president. So Trump he smartened up and got with the globalists and the deep state. Because, I mean, Pence was probably hell-bent like LBJ to take his place. So, finally, he's out there talking big, warning North Korea that all options are on the table. Pretty much we're going to nuke them. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's out there pretty much getting the U.S. ready for total war. I mean, you gotta see it as well as he's out there not defending anything, but he's posturing to the 28,000 troops or so out there that could easily be blown away. So he's by a North Korean nuke. So he's out there pretty much trying to raise morale. He's like a cheerleader. They put him in a little jacket. They send him out there, do a little song, a little dance, get everybody to clap. But, I mean, Pence is a neocon of extreme proportions. I mean, back in the day, the North Koreans would try to negotiate, maybe try to get some freebies. But with Kim Jong-un, I mean, we don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, it seems that all-out nuclear war is what they want. And, I mean, I am just in awe. I'm like, I can't believe that we could allow Kim Jong-un, that fat pig, to fly a satellite, the Kwangyongsang-4, over the United States. I mean, he did it last year during the Super Bowl. And now it's flying again over the United States this week. It's being tracked. You can track it yourself. Okay, and it's just beyond me that he has a space satellite there, a space satellite up in space that could literally blow the entire United States away. And, I mean, we shouldn't even be at this point with North Korea. I mean, why are they still here? Okay, they're flying satellites over the U.S. This is unbelievable. Pence warns North Korea, do not test Trump. So what's Trump become in the end? In the end, he's become Darth Trump. and we're living in a new empire. Okay, the neocons have struck back. We have Darth Trump with a freaking hairpiece. And who's he going after? I mean, they said it. What? Spicer had that Freudian slip. He said that they're going to destabilize Syria, right? Destabilize Syria. Destabilize a guy that is literally as harmless as Babar. That's why Saturday Night Live called him Babar al-Assad. Okay? He's as harmless as Babar. And so you have Darth Trump, basically the pathetic figure that Darth Vader was, just a poster boy for the Empire, but inside he's a pathetic mess, is conflicted, and that's what happened. Trump got derailed. Maybe at one point he thought he was going to genuinely go in there and maybe drain the swamp like a couple of inches, but as soon as he saw that the muck was just thicker than anything he could ever imagine. The muck was thicker than blood, thicker than water. And he could not drain this swamp. Even God couldn't drain this swamp. So now Darth Trump is working for the emperor. I mean, you thought you voted for Donald Trump, right? Wrong. Okay? You didn't know you voted for Tillerson and McMaster. Those are the guys. ExxonMobil, basically a Saturnalian cult, and McMaster, who's in the CFR. I remember the alternative media screaming at the top of their lungs, exposing all the Trilateral Commission and CFR members in Obama's cabinet. Well, Trump's cabinet's filled with them. It's filled with Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, globalist scum. I mean, no different than David Rockefeller, really, except without that much big money. Okay, that globalist is gone, but he didn't take any of his demons with him. They're still here. Meanwhile, ISIS has an air force. I bet you didn't know they have an air force out there. Okay, U.S., the Pentagon's been giving ISIS F-16s. And like I said, McMaster, CFR, okay, they said they were going to let the Syrian people decide the fate of Syria. Well, that went out the window. That went out the window. They were going to allow the Syrian people decide who their president was going to be. Okay, you remember when Hillary was talking about Assad being a game changer out there. Now he's a killer. He's bad. He's throwing gays off of roofs, right? No. He's fighting the Islamists that are throwing the gays off the roofs. But we have to destabilize and overthrow Syria, right? And I'm starting to see a correlation here because Russia, North Korea, Syria, etc. Those are all countries that are not part of the Rothschild banking systems. Basically the monopoly, the oligarchy that rules the U.S. So we got to get in there. We got to get the petrodollar strong again to enforce the American empire. And we have a pathetic, charismatic figure to enforce it all in Darth Trump. That's what we have. That's what we have, folks. McMaster, Council on Foreign Relations. Trump's picks have troubling links to globalism. Like I said, he's Bashar al-Assad. I mean, he wasn't so friendly to ISIS, I tell you that. He was kicking their asses. Bashar Assad's ISIS fight may be the reason Trump is pissed. Yeah, because he was too good. Syria was too good at kicking the rebels' asses, and he said it himself. Bashar al-Assad did. He said that it was fiction. It was a hoax. It was just fake news. So Bashar al-Assad praises Trump. So he was behind Trump when Trump was talking big about taking out ISIS. Little did he know that he was going to set his eyes on him. Basically, Trump fell in line with CNN, with all the the warmongers and the warhawks like John McCain. He wanted to make friendly with them. So I'm seeing here Trump. I mean, he's walking around probably as paranoid as Kim Jong-un. The deep state completely sabotaged his cabinet. So they want to talk about red lines. There is some pros and cons. I've been saying it all the time. There's some pros, folks. And here's one of them. At least Trump knows how to draw a red line. Okay, because we are getting some respect. Now, the U.S. is getting some respect. We weren't getting any respect. It was worse than Rodney Dangerfield when Obama was in. Obama was bending over backwards, drawing a squiggly line that nobody freaking respected. And Trump is like with a Sharpie, like a highlighter, freaking missile. He's drawing a line that you can't help but respect. So it's there. I mean, the charismatic image is there. He took a lot of talking points from right-wing patriotic talk show hosts like Jones and Savage. But Trump still represents the oligopoly, okay, the state. It's the Trumpenreich. It's the new American Reich. It's here. We are not going to fight the old, sloppy, bloody wars of the past. Now they're high-tech wars done with drones, nukes, what have you, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's mobile strike. Okay, now it's economic wars, and that's why you had Trump eating the most beautiful piece of chocolate cake with the Chinese president while they're discussing how they're going to make Raytheon stock go up, which is why the whole Syria thing is a hoax, because they needed to make Raytheon stock go up. They wanted new missiles, so they had to get rid of some old missiles. So they dumped them off in the landfill known as Syria. So there you have it, the Syrian hoax exposed. I mean, if sarin gas was really used, what's another thing? It's sarin, what? Fluoride, right? They pumped that in the water enough. But if sarin gas was really used, this is why the whole Syria thing is a hoax. Okay, it's just a fabrication. Like Bashar al-Assad said, Putin said. Okay, and I'm not a Russian agent for saying it. But the people that were handling the so-called victims should have had gloves. Otherwise, I mean, they would have been burning and freaking in pain, just like these victims should have been. There was a guy with like a freaking towel on his head still, and they forgot to take it off. I mean, wouldn't that have been burning his head if he was like gassed with sarin? No, he was just sitting there waiting for his like script. I'm telling you, it's all fake news, run by the oligopoly. They have one major purpose, and that is to make money for the defense contractors like Raytheon, etc. So they put out a charismatic figure like Trump out there to galvanize all the patriots and basically do what Obama did, but in reverse. Basically, we're on the verge of overthrowing the shadow government, the deep state, but now we have Trump in there. He said he was going to do it, so all the rednecks and the patriots just sat their asses down. They sat their fat asses down and fell asleep on their pillow, right? That's what they wanted to happen. Meanwhile, we have North Korea threatening South Korea, threatening to blow them away. North Korea will test missiles weekly now, says here BBC. North Korea will test missiles weekly, senior official tells BBC, the British pedophile broadcasting network. You have a North Korean envoy warns of nuclear war possibility. That's on the fake news. North Korea threatens weekly missile tests. Weekly missile tests. Now going back to the Syria thing, that's what's happening. It's just, you go from one pig, from Kim Jong-un, from one big fat pig to go to a whole bunch of radical Islamist pigs. Because they do exist. The Pentagon went over there, radicalized, everybody and their mama. They don't care what caliphate runs what, who hates Jews, who hates America, as long as, they get them to do certain little proxy wars. But then it went out of control. So they have John McCain's rebels out there gassing themselves most of the time. Okay, they're switching off from rebels to ISIS. Nobody knows who's who out there. But it's these rebels that McCain took pictures with. They're out there that are giving Assad a hard time, that are also ISIS members, that have been using these supposed gas attacks. It's just a hoax. And CNN helps spread the hoax. Just like they helped spread the hoax about Saddam knocking over baby incubators and, like, using babies' bones to, like, make his porridge. He was, like, grinding babies and knocking them out of their incubators. Oh, yeah, the evil Saddam Hussein. That's the same thing I see with North Korea. A fat little retarded crybaby that's about to shit his diaper like he doesn't believe, and they got the Carl Vincent going out there. I mean, they're not going out there just for kicks, folks. Okay? They're going out there to kick some ass. But that's what I'm saying. CNN helps fabricate the hoax. Okay, but now they are in Trump's ear. They're telling him what he wants to hear. He's telling them what they want to hear. They don't know whether to bash him or give him a freaking BJ. CNN. They're outrageous. They were so adamant about their hate for Trump. Now they love him. They love everything they do. As long as Trump drops bombs for the MIC, the military-industrial complex, they are happy. You see, Pence warns North Korea of U.S. resolve shown in Syria and Afghan strikes. You have the mother of all bombs being dropped on Afghanistan. It was so big it had the Gap band moving and grooving. It was a freaking mother of all bombs. So, North Korean border, Pence tells CNN U.S. will drop failed policy. I don't care what he tells CNN. I could have sworn I saw his eye do the reptilian thing when he was on CNN. See, Pence talks tough on North Korea, but U.S. stops short of drawing red line. The failing New York Times. They always got some shit to say, don't they? Always, all the time. Meanwhile, North Korea is threatening to, again, your tough talk is over. They're threatening to test missiles every week. It doesn't matter if, the last test failed. Here's what I want to get into. Could the U.S. have sabotaged it? I'm seeing here on the internet that the U.S. was involved in, has been involved in many cyber attacks on North Korea, basically making it impossible for them to launch their stupid little toys, to launch their rattles up into space. So here we have the news. Trump sabotages North Korean missile test. That's what I'm seeing here. He's been sabotaged so much, I figured he had enough. He was pissed. He said that it's time to sabotage these bastards right back. Right? North Korea's test rockets. We can't have them testing rockets every week. This is heading to all-out total war, folks. I mean, did you forget? I said he has a damn satellite flying over our heads as we speak. I mean, you need the freaking empire. I mean, in this instance, right? I mean, they needed the clone army in a couple of Star Wars films, but then you saw how that turned out. Baron Trump will end up, taking over the world with the clone army soon enough, right? If we let him. But I've seen all this before. Okay, every time I hear the Democratic People's Republic, and I see the parades, the communist style parades, a show of force. I mean, North Korea basically trying to flex its muscles. It's completely right out of Marx's freaking Stalin's playbook. It's right out of a Marxist, Leninist, freaking communist playbook. Okay, North Korea will test missiles weekly. A Cuban Missile Crisis is in slow motion. North Korea. So you see it every time you see Democratic People's Republic of, you can guarantee that is a totalitarian nation. It's nothing close to a republic. It's a socialist, one-party state, authoritarian, oppressive. And you see it. I mean, they even have the damn communist hammer and sickle as a flag in North Korea. So, we can't have it be a dawn of a new day, a dawn of a North Korean Soviet Union friggin' worldwide. I mean, North Korea has the power to totally wipe out South Korea. I mean, you don't know what they've been doing in Japan. Maybe they were the ones that, with these ICBM tests, maybe they launched them into plate tectonics underwater. They show you launching them into the sky. What if these bastards launch them underwater? What if North Korea? Okay, you want to talk about conspiracy theorists? I mean, last time I checked, conspiracy theorists conspiracy theorize. What if North Korea was responsible for Fukushima by testing these ICBMs, or better yet, deliberately firing one at Japan? They don't like Japan. I'm telling you, it's clandestine war, silent weapons for silent wars. And it doesn't get any more silent if you're firing ICBMs underwater, right? Which reminds me, on this program, I warned of a threat, a North Korean threat to the U.S. They keep saying, oh, the Western United States. Well, I've been warning, North Korea has these ICBMs, these intercontinental ballistic missiles that keep firing them Lord knows where. What if they're aiming towards the plate tectonics around the West, primarily the San Andreas fault lines, trying to trigger something out in the Pacific? I mean, that could be catastrophic. That's Armageddon right there, folks. That's the dawn of a new North Korean day. I mean, Generation Z is gonna be like Dragon Ball Z. I mean, you see those freaking cities they live in. You know, it kind of reminds me of North Korea. What is that? Some predictive programming there for the future? I hope not, folks. I hope the U.S. is able to get out of this quagmire, because that's what it could be. You know, it could lead us to total war. I mean, I'm talking about, forget World War III. We're going straight to World War V. Okay? North Korea has always had relations with Russia historically. Soviet Union. That's why you see so much Soviet Union symbolism in what North Korea does. The communism, the totalitarianism, the displays of communist parades, military parades they have. Going back, they're very influenced by Russia. They've done deals with Russia in the past. They wouldn't exist if Russia didn't allow them to exist, right? So my deal is this: you have the U.S. having its hackers sabotage North Korean missile tests. You have the U.S. conducting a secret cyber war against North Korea. You have North Korea having embarrassing moments, this missile launch that failed. So we're in all-out freaking economic war with China, and we're telling them to get their dog in line, North Korea. Otherwise, we will. And these are signs that we're trying to get North Korea in line. Hopefully, it doesn't go all out to thermonuclear war, because that's where it's heading towards, folks. Total thermonuclear war with North Korea. I mean, from just imagine. I mean, if you saw the movie G.I. Joe Retaliation, and North Korea was at that table where they nuked London in the movie. They were at that table. That means they have nuclear weapons, and the satellite weapon was displayed, the Project Thor, they called it. Meanwhile, in real life, under the Star Wars technology, it was called, the Rods of God. So they have a satellite flying over the United States. I mean, I don't know what the hell to tell you. Okay, after they're done with Kim Jong-un, I'm pretty sure they're going to move on to Duterte, or whatever the hell that Filipino, that Bakla, and that Hitler from the Philippines, the Bakla of the Philippines. He's next. So definitely see that happening. Says here, Donald Trump's approval rating at 50%. Well, nobody wants to see war. I would prefer a non-interventionalist Trump, where he didn't have to go into Syria, but he didn't. I don't think he killed anybody. I mean, if he's killing ISIS fighters, those are the people stupid enough to join the Pentagon to kill their own people. So I really don't care if they kill ISIS fighters. Civilians, on the other hand, I mean, that's where the U.S. starts to get its name thrown in the muck. And I do care about our image worldwide, but here's the thing. This was a business deal. The missiles being dropped were a business deal, and it sent a message. It was us making money and flexing muscles at the same time. Have a new inventory of bombs. And here's the thing as well. If Kim Jong-un is the son of a bitch we all know he is, then he has to be taken out. So, Trump's 50% approval rating, I mean, people are just scared. They don't know. They don't know if it's like 50-50 if America is going to make it. That's why, what was it, that Melissa McCarthy was playing the Easter Bunny. She said, oh, eat a lot of candy because, we don't know if we're going to be here another fucking Easter. Right? I'm telling you. She's funny. Yeah, she's funny making fun of that freaking Spicer. You believe it? On Passover, he's talking about Hitler, like basically being a German sympathizer. I mean, that's how you want to spot the new American Reich. I mean, guys like Spicer up there, he goes up there, and I'm not trying to be like Dave Chappelle or all these guys now talking about race, but I mean, really, dude, you're going to bring up Hitler and say he didn't gas anybody? Oh, Hitler didn't even gas anybody? Well, yeah, that's right. He had the Vatican give the final order, right? It was the Vatican that gave the orders. That's why you see Pope Francis walking around. He's got the same Knights of Malta cross that the Nazis wore, right? Right. Yeah, that's why they brought him over here, Operation Paperclip. Okay? So, I just thought it was hilarious at the same time. It's funny. I mean, really? I was just talking about coming up with a Passover game, like pin the tail on the Hitler, and then my wife's like, no, it should be pin the tail on the Pharaoh. And then the next day, you got Spicer talking about Hitler didn't gas anybody. I was coming up with like a Hitler-themed game for Passover. And then Spicer makes all the news for bringing up Hitler on Passover. Now, what do you expect? They're in the big leagues, right? Of course. They say something, they think it's already been said like 10 times. It doesn't matter. They go with it. Plus, they're listening to you 24/7 on your fucking phone, aren't they? Right. Absolutely. But some good news. Marijuana is not a factor in the Trump administration's drug war. I'm reading that here. Well, that's a good thing, I tell you, because that's a good thing. Because I will not stop smoking marijuana. Just like outlaws are always going to have guns, I'm not going to stop. So you're going to have to, like, come and take it. Like they have that one freaking flag with the come and take it. Or like Molon Labe. Well, they got to come up with a joint for blunt on Labe or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, pry my blunt out of my cold, hands. Not really, because you have the blunt and the guns. You know what I'm saying? But this is a good thing. There's no reason to get the guns up unless you're buying Jaja's single on iTunes. But here you see Trump official says weed not a factor. Neither is Bill O'Reilly's show. I made it funny there. It's not a factor anymore. That's right. I think that guy's a pedo anyway. I mean, he's just trying to come up with some freaking facade that he, goes after women. But really, I mean, I heard he was a pedo, like in Panama. I don't know, some FBI informant told me. Anyway, good news. Here we have Kelly saying not a factor in drug war. This is Trump's DHS guy, secretary, saying marijuana is not a factor in drug war. Very good. Very good. Now, they want you to have your cake. Like Trump, he's having his cake and he's eating it too, and it's a beautiful piece of cake. Well, they want you to have your cake and eat it too. So, I mean, he's got to have you a little stoned. I mean, even though the marijuana opens up your third eye, the consciousness, it gets you a little baked as well. Kind of like, you don't want to go out there and kick anybody's ass. Unless they come a knocking, then this van starts rocking. You know what I'm saying? But, good news. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's pros and cons with Trump. He does one thing that's bad, and then he does another thing that's worse, and then he does something that's okay, and then, with the flip-flops. I mean, I thought this guy was supposed to be wearing a business suit. He's flip-flopping all the time. He's got flip-flops on like a lazy motherfucker. I got flip-flops on right now, actually. Well, I'm very comfortable right now. Doing a Monday night show here. Could be my last. Fucking World War V, folks. Look at this powerful USS Carl Vinson steams towards North Korea. Now, that's like a pervert in like a porno movie, like a line. He'll be like, I know it's pretty, baby, but I didn't let it out just for air. But you think that's what the freaking Navy's saying? Yeah, I know my Navy is pretty, but we're not just letting it out just for air. I mean, they're going to kick some ass. They're out there, and if Kim Jong-un fires, he's playing with fire, folks. Okay, he's literally playing with hellfire. If he fires one more fucking missile, they're going to blow his fat-ass Ghostbusters fucking Marshmallow Man looking ass away. Okay? That's what Pence was doing today. He was like, in North Korea, it's like Pence and Trump are like the Reservoir Dogs. It's like Mr. Blonde and Mr. Very White Hair. And you have Pence saying, well, he's like being like Mr. Orange. Because you don't know if he could flip-flop and turn on Trump. He's like telling the story about when he took a crap in his pants and just dove right in. So that's what I'm saying. He's just telling the story, folks. He's like, we're gonna blow you away, fucking North Korea. Don't make us fucking blow you away. Carl Vinson out there, they don't look like they're playing. So I mean, the North Koreans, every time I see them on TV, they got the stupidest look on their face. I mean, they're really retarded looking people. They have to be. I mean, they're poking. Forget about poking the bear. That's Russia. You're poking Satan if you're fucking with the United States. Satan. You understand me? Look at this. U.S. may launch strike if North Korea reaches for nuclear trigger. China wars of war. North Korea vows merciless response. What merciless response? I mean, he didn't update their Norton antivirus. Kim Jong-un didn't update his Norton antivirus. So he's in deep shit. His shining star ain't going to be doing that. Getting very far. No matter who you are. No, your shining star ain't going nowhere. Okay, stupid Kim Jong-un? I shit myself. You were celebrating your grandpappy San's fucking big birthday or whatever, right? What'd you do? Dig him up and do like some Necronomicon spells? Bring him back? Huh? You better relax because we'll shut off your Wi-Fi again, you fat tubby fuck. So I'm telling you. You know, he's like the Silence of the Lambs. Would you nuke me? I'd nuke me. I'd nuke me hard. Oh, man. You know, but it's guys like Kim Jong-un that really bring out the neocon in me. I want to see, like, the bombs flying, you know what I'm saying? Put on Gap Band like I did last week. Yeah, gets you going. Really gets you going, folks. But, you know, we know what we have in the White House. We have a guy that's friends with Swamp Thing that has very expensive shoes. And, you know, he's president and I'm not, so what the hell do I know at the end of the day? I'm just Bruce Montalvo doing my show. You know, I'm like playing a character. And if I ever get in trouble, I'm just going to pull the Alex Jones card. And I'm going to say, I'm playing a character. I'm just Bruce Montalvo. Get my lawyer to say that I'm a fucking performance artist and that, you know, I don't really believe all my conspiracy theories. You know, but I do. That's the difference between Alex Jones and myself, is that I drink my own Kool-Aid. That's right. Anyway, folks, if you want to drink some of my Kool-Aid, you can do it every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm doing a special broadcast because, hell, let's face it, I don't know if I'm going to be here, if you're going to be here, if we're all going to be here tomorrow. Because, did you forget North Korea's got a fucking satellite up there that's probably got a goddamn ICBM up there that's going to take out the grid. Who knows, that whole EMP thing. Hopefully you've been saving some non-GMO foods, storable non-GMO food, and you'll be fine. Otherwise, you have a whole bunch of storable foods that are GMO. GMN. That takes me back. Anyway, let's get into this here. Trump said that he would bomb the shit out of them. You forget that? Everybody's like, oh, I can't believe Trump's dropping bombs. He's doing what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to drop bombs on them like the fucking Gap Band. Okay? Baby. But one thing I don't agree with is that he's saying that Assad is a butcher, a very bad guy. I mean, he sounds no different than a Clinton presidency here, which is what I suspected from the very beginning, because you remember him on Fox with that ugly woman they had on Fox, that Greta Von Ugly. And he said that Hillary was a great woman and he liked her. So he flip-flopped on that. Then now this week he's saying, NATO's paying their bills, so I like NATO again. So it's okay for NATO to go and start all-out war with the Russians. I don't care. Relationships with Putin are very bad. They're an all-time low. Well, I mean, he conned us all. He had us all thinking that, everything was like kumbaya with the Russians on his side, but turns out that he was just as much as a war hawk and wanted to take a bite out of the Russians like Hillary did. Or maybe it's all just fucking Dr. Strangelove, because don't forget that the space stations up there wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for a joint collaboration between the United States and Russia. So who are they trying to fool here? Huh? Who are they trying to fool? They're trying to pull the wool over our eyes, but we unveil their deception every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. This time, Monday Night Raw on the Monday Night Montalvo show. I don't know how many times I'll do it. I finally figured out how to do my Facebook Live, so I don't know. Maybe I'll be on more Mondays. Somebody's got to be on, right? In case you got a case of the Mondays. But who knows if we'll even make it to fucking Sunday, because, like I said, all-out war is on the horizon. I mean, you have, 15,000 troops or so heading towards North Korea, Chinese troops. Okay? So I'm thinking, Trump is another thing to consider. Maybe Trump is under mind control. If you go back to MK Ultra, who came up with that? The Nazis, right? That's why there's the K for the mind control. Mind control. Maybe Trump is under mind control by McMaster and Tillerson and the deep state, and they're telling him what to do. That's not a maybe, that's a for sure. Okay? But that's one con. But then there's a pro. Because Trump has got him scared. He's got Kim Jong-un looking like a retarded baby that's about to crap his pants. But we know now what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the Trumpenreich. Okay? The Jesuits have full say, just like they had full say over the Nazis. We're dealing with the Trumpenreich. They have the Freudian slips. You had Spicer up there talking about they're going to destabilize Syria. And then he was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Just like he had his Freudian slip about Hitler not gassing anybody, basically being a fucking German sympathizer. I could teach a course on how to spot like Nazi German sympathizers. Saying Hitler didn't use chemical weapons. That's the thing. This whole week I feel like I've been listening to Dead Kennedys like on replay. Fucking chemical warfare, chemical warfare, chemical warfare, warfare. That's all they say, chemical fucking warfare. Every minute. I could turn on the TV right now and they'll be talking about chemical warfare, and it was all a fucking hoax. It was all a hoax. I'm starting to think the guy that got his ass kicked on United Airlines was a hoax too. United Airlines. We'll kick your ass, bitch. That's like their new commercial. Anyway, folks, I'm almost running out of time, but want to remind you to visit the Bruce Montalvo Show on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe to the Bruce Montalvo Show channel on YouTube. And for 24-hour breaking on-the-minute news, when it happens, go to Exposed News on YouTube. That's Exposed News on YouTube. And the Bruce Montalvo TV. That's Bruce Montalvo TV at YouTube. And follow us on Twitter at Bruce Montalvo, at Jaja. She'll be on next Friday. same Montalvo dial, same Montalvo station. Okay, North Korea is threatening to wipe South Korea off the map, wipe the United States off the map. So hopefully we'll be on same Montalvo dial and same Montalvo time. But I'm pretty sure, look, before we go, I'm pretty sure that the deplorables didn't vote for McMaster. We didn't vote for Trump. Well, I mean, Tillerson. Okay, the people that voted for Trump didn't vote for McMaster, didn't vote for Tillerson. And these guys are running rogue. Okay, they managed to put in their own deep state. Oh, yeah, sure, they took out Obama's deep state, but put in the same guys, pretty much. I mean, the shadow government never changes. I mean, Trump is pretty much like a fucking burger cashier. Okay? That's all he is. And, well, he's more than that as well. He's also a very, very talented individual. I don't want to just talk shit. He's a very talented, architect, one of the best. But in this role, he is a freaking cashier of the Illuminati. And if you didn't get extra pickles, you tell Trump, and then he'll tell the guys in the back, and then, I don't know, they'll write a letter to fucking the president of Hollywood, a.k.a. Satan. And then nothing will get done. And, maybe they kidnap your kid and put it in a freaking child Hollywood elite pedophile ring. It's unbelievable. These are the times we live in today where dictators want to flatten the earth with nukes, even though the earth is already flat. So, is it any surprise? I mean, Trump is part of the monarchy. Okay, I got artists giving me, his fucking genealogy. Okay, his Nazi genealogy. And we're the ones that were really exposing Nazis in the Fourth Reich. I mean, they're all over the place. They're COINTELPRO. I mean, they're in alternative media. I mean, shills all over the place. We're one of the rare outlets that fights for the truth, that is part of the truth, that is here for you, not them. As they live, we will not sleep until you know the truth, folks. So thank you for listening, and I'll be on again on Friday. Every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back. We'll see what happens then. Sayonara.
About to incite a riot. Make some noise, break up the silence. Scream and shout, no being quiet. Spread the facts until you buy it. Come to my den, I got toys for torture. We drink the blood fresh just to stay immortals. We bring a thug fest, calling all New Yorkers. And keep a bayonet for the future slaughters. Take your bets, the players make them offers. Heads or tails, your life is on a quarter. All the king's men tally up their horses. Forging ahead with a secret missile launching. Off to Georgia and start to cross the borders. In my bedroom, I'm making all the orders. If you come, you won't make it till morning. Get the picture, maybe kinda sorta. Ski mask, check. Extra filter, check. Scissors, check. Duct tape, check. H2O, check. Ammo, check. Ropes, check.